I'm going to show you how to create a perfectly formatted statement that a VA rater is going to want to see. Now, your statement is not for C&P examiners. They don't care about it. Your statement's not for your VSO. They really don't care about it. Your statement is for the rater, and formatting this thing and being clear and concise on what matters is most important. Now, here's an example of what that's going to look like. The purpose of this video is I'm going to walk you through how to build this step by step. And you can see it's formatted a specific way. I'm going to use some color coding here to really break this down. And you can use this for any condition, not just migraine. But what I'm going to do is share my own symptoms, my own treatments that I use for migraines, and more importantly, how do I articulate that onto a statement, again, for the VA rater. Now, I'm on 3 consistent treatments, and the first one I use, my personal favorite, is gammaCore. Comes in a box like this. Open it up, you get some gel. You get this thing here. Take the top off, you put gel on it, put it on your neck. It's 2-minute treatments. I use this twice in the morning, twice in the evening, every single day. It's part of my routine. That's my prescription, if you will. So I'm going to have to communicate that to the VA. Now, the cool thing about gammaCore is, given your VA benefits, this is free, 100% free. It's non-invasive vagus nerve stimulator. Depending on where you're at with medication, if you prefer medication, what that looks like, this is non-invasive. One of my absolute #1 favorite treatment for migraines right here. All you need to do is communicate with your VA primary care. You may be referred to your neurologist. Your healthcare team understands your healthcare better than anyone else, especially a YouTuber in that basement. But to get this conversation started, just talk to your VA primary care about your migraines and ask about gammaCore. Now, again, I use this twice in the morning, twice in the evening, and I need to communicate that onto a statement, which you're going to see here in a second. I'm also on a nightly medication for migraines called amitriptyline that I take every single night. And then finally, I'm on something called rizatriptan, which is like a break glass in emergencies when these migraines occur in full force. Okay, now the question is, how am I going to communicate these 3 treatments onto a statement? And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Let's go here. Now, I'm going to revisit this for service connection. This is going to be for direct. For right now, I'm only going to focus on symptoms. And you'll see that this part is part of the service connection. It's also part of increase. All right. So whether you're claiming it direct or you're already service connected and you're going for an increase, this is going to matter to you. Now, let me show you exactly how to format this thing in a way that makes sense. Okay. So first off, you're going to have a link to this statement. It's going to be on a Google Doc. You'll have access to it. You can download it. You'll see that linked below in the pinned comments. But here we go. My prostrating migraine symptoms are evidenced by. So right there on your 4138, this is the very first sentence the VA raters are going to see. And this right here is key. All right. It is absolutely key. Where's the, okay, here we go. Let's make this pink, I guess. Yeah, that's a really pretty color. Let's make it pink. Is or are evidenced by. This part is key here because we have our symptoms, which are going to be in green. All right, we'll make this green. That's way too bright of a green. Let's go ahead and make it that green. And then we're going to have the date. I'm going to put the date in red. This is exactly how I would format my statements. Whatever the subject is, here is prostrating migraines. It could be PTSD symptoms. It could be whatever else you got going on for your statement are evidenced by 1, symptom, 2, date. And so let's say I go to the Washington VA Medical Center. Let's say in 2022, In August of 2022, I complained about sensitivity to light. That's documented, and I can point to where that's at. If you have multiple dates, you can just go ahead and add that for sensitivity to light. Same thing with sensitivity to sound. All right, there it is. Reported in VA medical records date. Symptoms, these are all symptoms right here. Now, my treatment comes in at number 5. So migraines average 5 to 6 times per month, as evident by, that's that key phrase there, prescription form from VA medical records from Washington, D.C. Medical Center date. All right. Prescribed gammaCore. So here we go. Prescribed gammaCore by VA neurologist. So one, I want to tell the rater what my prescription is, and then I want to show the prescription. In this case, I'm using prescription in quotes for gammaCore. All right. The reason this matters, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same for all 3 of these here. The reason this matters is because whatever it is we are reporting our symptoms to be, right? You have to remember that those are self-reports. If there's a totem pole of what matters, you have like hard medical evidence up here, post-deployment health assessments, pre-deployment health assessments, VA medical records, VA problem list, all that stuff is up here. Self-reports are way down here. So yes, we have to communicate our symptoms to the VA, specifically for migraines that are prostrating symptoms, if you will, because that's how the VA rates migraines. And so here we go. 1 through 4 is communicating those symptoms, but 5 through 8 in this case is hard medical evidence that is backing up my symptoms. Okay. So for instance, let's say I had really severe migraines and all of this was true, but I never spoke to my VA primary care. I didn't seek healthcare for private insurance. There's really no concrete medical evidence showing my symptoms other than my self-report. So now the C&P examiner looks at that. There's no evidence to back this up or support these symptoms. And so there is arguably, the C&P examiner can arguably say, hey, your migraines aren't bad enough. They're not prostrating enough, because if they were, you would have gone to treatment. Now, that's not always the case, okay? But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to leave it up to a C&P examiner. What I'm going to do, 1, because I want healthcare. Healthcare is important, and I would argue that till I die. 2, healthcare for VA disability benefits is hard medical evidence. So, hey, here we go. My prescriptions back up the severity of my symptoms, which are prostrating, and bada bing, bada boom. That is how you are rated for migraines. Now, how did I come up with prostrating verbiage there? I'll show you, because I didn't make that up. Let's go to Google. Let's just type in migraines 38 CFR E CFR. Okay. We'll click that link there. I'm just going to search migraine, but here it is, 8100. And you can see with very frequent, completely prostrating, with characteristics prostrating, with characteristics prostrating. And then 0% is just headaches, migraines, less frequent attacks. So if you have headaches and migraines, but you don't have prostrating symptoms, you're going to be rated at 0%. You have to communicate to the VA that your symptoms are prostrating. What really sucks about that is, although you have this amazing statement that I just showed you, the C&P examiner, you might get a good one, you might get one that's not so great, but your symptoms that are annotated on your statement and your prescriptions that are backing up your symptoms that are also annotated on your statement is more than enough to do a higher level review and get the appropriate rating. That is exactly what I had to do for my VA rating for migraines. Anyways, that's all I have. gammaCore is hands down, without a doubt, my favorite treatment because it's not medication. The two medications I do take, amitriptyline and rizatriptan, they will knock me out completely. If I take those, I'm done for the day. I have 4 kids. I may not be able to take medication all the time. That's where gammaCore really comes in play. So if that's you, absolutely consider that. Again, it's free, given your VA benefits. So do that. If you want to do it through private insurance, you can absolutely do that. Just know you're foregoing your VA benefit there to get that covered. But anyways, to each their own. And if you made it till the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Until next time.